Facebook, we are back in my spiritual home, my little library here, and we're just gonna, as people jump on, just explain a little bit about the vision and why these lives are even happening, why I even had the idea. So it's back to that philosophy of not just acquiring knowledge, but doing something with that knowledge. And yes, I've read a lot of books, but I've done a lot of things about that, about what I've picked up, the knowledge that I've picked up. I've done something about it. So let's reach round, let's get started here. If you're here with me, say hi. We've got, what have we got? We've got The Magic of Thinking Big. There's going to be some gold in here. This was like, I read this maybe 4 years ago now by David Schwartz. So let's dive right in. And guys, if you're here watching with me and you're listening, you're running through some of the ideas, the lessons, what you can actually do, comment below. Comment if you've learned this lesson yourself and you've read about this yourself and if you've taken action on what we're talking about as well. Leave your comments. Okay. Look at that. Knowledge. Hi Sarah. Okay, let me give you some encouragement. Okay, let me see what it says here. This is just perfect. It says, knowledge is power. Then in italics it says, if you use it constructively. Can you believe that? We're here constructively using the knowledge. And that's it. The lesson there and the action step is simple. Hi Penny, how are you, lovely? The action step there is simple. Knowledge is power if you use it constructively. That's it. So read the books, attend the seminars, watch the videos. And you can't possibly just be, it can't be shelf development, or you can't be a seminar junkie if you're using the knowledge constructively. And you're constantly developing yourself, constantly taking the action step. Okay, let's have a look for something else here. Okay, here we go. It says, and I've underlined this 4 years ago. It says, know that the work you do is important. Now, when I read this, I would have still been studying and working for my two uncles, Terry and Keith. They run Cat Property Maintenance here in Cardiff. And I would hope to think that they would tell you that I treated my work. Pete, how are you, brother? You know, I would hope they would tell you that I worked all throughout my degree for my two uncles. And I hope they would tell you that I treated it like it was important. We spent a lot of time doing fascias and guttering. And I would do everything to the best of my ability. I would always be thinking ahead. I would know that the fascias and the guttering was important to their house. So yeah, you may not be doing what your dream job might be right now, but realise that what you do is important. You're an important part of the process. This make sense? So let's say, for example, when I was helping out, labouring for my family business, my two uncles, I was in touch with the idea that if I could fix their guttering, for example, then that would just be one less stressor in their life. And they could pay attention to enjoying their life just with one of those stressors removed. Hi Mark, hi Shubra. So whatever it is, know that what you do is important. This guy's, for you jumping on, is from The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. Okay, let's have a look what else we've got here. Okay, we've got, you need to cure yourself of excuse-itis. Powerful. So again, that sounds good. You know, you can just read that. But again, it's about paying attention about the excuses that you're making, about not making progress, about not starting that gym regime, about not starting that nutrition plan, about not writing that book. Listen to the excuses. There you are. And you can cure yourself. Pay attention. Reframe it. And a great way is a Zen practice is just carry a little notepad and first of all, start noticing without judgment. Every time you make an excuse in your head or out loud, just put a little mark on your notepad. You following? Put a mark on your notepad every single time you make an excuse. And if your intention is to reduce the amount of excuses you make, you'll watch that number go down on a day-to-day basis. And you can just do this without judgment. And soon, you can move into the reframe. Like, I'm going to start my nutrition program because I need to write my book. I need to start now, today, because people need to hear the message that I've got inside me, because I know that I can help people. Even if I can just help one person, then it was worthwhile reading the book. Does this make sense? So it's a total reframe from excuse all the way through to action, which is the action step from that part of the magic of thinking big. Let's see. Okay. This is powerful. You're welcome, Shireen. We've got throw thought poison out of your environment. Avoid gossip. If you talk about people, stay on the positive side. Now, it's funny, I was having a conversation with Katie this morning, and it's real commonplace for people who are regularly sharing negative opinions and things that are negative and derogatory about people, that person is actually insecure themselves, because they know that they could potentially be talking about, in that derogatory way, that negative way, about themselves. Does this make sense? So you can condition yourself, and sometimes I get called naive for, thinking or noticing the good in everyone and believing there's good in everyone. But I'll take that criticism, because on a moment-to-moment basis, the security and the love I have for myself and humans keeps me balanced in my mind, and it allows me to push forward what I actually want to do. Because I guess some of you guys are tuning into these lessons from these great books and some action steps we can take, because you know that we're on a perpetual self-development journey, yeah? And you can always get even better. It's about that clarity of thought, and avoiding thought poison. And Jim Rohn, the great Jim Rohn, he used to say, stand guard at the door of your mind. Be careful what you allow in. Because again, it's funny how all these videos are tying together. Yesterday, Tony Robbins was talking about how the word patterns impact your emotional patterns. And then your emotional patterns impact everything. Because the quality of your life is how you feel emotionally. Yeah? So what David Schwartz is getting at here is throwing out the thought poison, which is the gossip, which is oftentimes the news, which is some of the things that people share on Facebook and Twitter and that type of thing. Throw it out. Stand guard at the door. Oh, Marcia, great to hear from you. We had a great chat this morning. Yeah, stand guard at the door of your mind. It was something that I heard Jim Rohn say that really has stuck with me. Because we can just mindlessly, our eyes, we've got great senses, it's phenomenal being a human, but sometimes you don't filter what lands. Does this make sense? Okay, let's go for one more here from the magic of thinking big. Let's have a look. Okay. It says, start your mental engine mechanically. It says, use some kind of mind force technique to start your day. So for me, I start the engine of my mind with what you might call a morning ritual or a morning routine. Now, if my good friend Sean Bryce, he was at the Fearless Speaking Academy 2-day intensive last weekend, he loves the idea of the morning routine. And I think what I'm quite passionate about is you need to find something that's right for you. So for me, this is an action step you can take. You can pick some of these for you if you like. I get up and I open up my body and I throw a big smile on my face. You know what I mean? It sounds cliched, but when you really identify with the fact that there's hundreds of thousands of people that aren't going to be waking up, you can smile and be grateful for waking up. Then I come actually in here, in my home office here, and I just go through some deep breathing, oxygenate the body, and then I drink 1.1 litres of wheatgrass water. And that really, really starts to open up the mind and body and get things rolling for me. This makes sense? And then there's various different things that I do. Number one is get the body moving. At the moment, there's 100 push-ups. It might be straight out for a jog. It might be whatever the movement is for you. It's a great way to start that mental engine. Because I believe that, and I'm sure David Schwartz would agree, and Tony Robbins, the author we addressed yesterday, would agree, that the mind and body are intrinsically linked. So when you wake up one, you wake up the other. This makes sense? And the fastest way to do this is to use the body, use the body, use the body. Then, tying into the previous point that David Schwartz from The Magic of Thinking Big makes, is I actually, as opposed to thought poison, I like to throw in, some thought fertilizer. So, I might read something from behind me. I might read my goals. I might have a conversation with a mentor. And I'll really make things happen. Yes, Shiva, this is my little two bookstand library here. This is mine, yeah. And part of the visualization, actually, while we're on that topic, is I love the idea of moving into a house where I can have a full-scale, full-size library. And as Jim Rohn said, Jim Rohn, we're going back to Uncle Jim, who's no longer with us, the late, great Jim Rohn. He used to say, he said, get a library. Even before you start reading the books, you start to feel smarter. And then when you start, honestly, when this process of reading, taking the tip, taking action on the tip, is where the momentum comes from. So we've got time. Let's go for one more. Let's go for one more from the Magic of Thinking Big. Okay. He talks about when you're improving yourself, and I'm quite passionate about this. He said, don't say I... What did he say? Yeah, here we go. He says, don't try, resolve to say I will. And I'll actually take this a step further. This is through my own journey. Yeah, it's a beautiful, as I say, just looking at the image of being surrounded by books is great for the mind, Penny. So when you resolve to say I will, it sends an important message to the mind. Yes, it's so much better than I try, and that's what David Schwartz is getting at in The Magic of Thinking Big. But what if you could say I am? What if you took it in to the present moment? I am an author. I am a world-renowned speaker. I am in incredible shape. Whatever it is for you, and then it almost becomes goal, thought, action, goal, thought, action, goal, thought, action. So it's not just positive thinking. Yes, of course, there's stuff you have to do. It's just when you say, I'll try and do something, you're priming your mind to fail. So if I say, you know, I'll try and stand up, let me try and stand up here, let me try and stand up. In reality, I just stand up. So don't try and write a book. Write a book. This makes sense? And there's no action police around. You have to police it yourself. You police the process yourself. Plug it into your schedule and write the book. Does this make sense? So, The Magic of Thinking Big. It was something that I read 4 years ago, and it still brings a smile to my face. And that when you take action on the learnings as well, you can just pick stuff up and they'll prime your mind and make you smile just from something that was 4 years ago, because you know that the action you took from that book has helped you towards where you are today. I am. Love it, Rids. Love it. That's it. So my invitation to you is to, yes, of course, you know, join me on my live videos. I'm absolutely so grateful to you all being here with me. But not just Jermaine Harris's, 15-minute live videos. Get the knowledge that you require in the area you'd like to improve, or the areas you'd like to improve, and continue to take the action steps that knowledge inspires. Because that's where it is. That's where the development is. I could read all these books and then just sit and do nothing, and it is impossible. It's a physical impossibility for there to be improvement. So guys, I've hopefully inspired you to have a think about more things that you want, more of the knowledge that you can acquire. Because we live in a world where knowledge is so readily available. What is more sparsely available is people willing to act on that knowledge. Those of you that have been with me live, be one of the action takers on the knowledge you acquire. Those of you watching the replay, again, my invitation is for you to acquire the knowledge, act on the knowledge. And like Rids has said below, I am. There is no try. I think it was Yoda actually in Star Wars. He said there either is do or do not. There is no try. So it's been my absolute privilege once again to come live from the library. I'm dedicated to doing as much of this as possible, because I know if I can inspire just one of you to pick up a book that you think, or a video, or a training course, whatever it is for you, that you think will improve the quality of your life, and then I share with you the idea that you act on to improve that quality of your life, then my work here is done. This makes sense? So it's been my privilege having you guys with me live. I've once again so passionately enjoyed coming to you live from my library. And those of you watching the replay, thank you so much for catching up with this video. Post your comments below, post your ideas, maybe even post some book recommendations to me. I'm always looking for more reading to do and ideas to act upon. And until tomorrow, my friends, where I'll be coming back live. I mean, I just want to, you know when you see people pour money over themselves, right? I think I want to have a bath with the books. Now that would be a Facebook Live, right? Bathing with the books. It's been my absolute privilege, guys. I'll catch up with you either later on this evening or tomorrow. take the action.